Energy independence for this country.
I agree with some of the things that are already said. My energy policy is basically all of the above. I think the critical thing that we have right now in our country is we have a liberal direction of our government which is not allowing us to utilize our own natural resources. We have plenty of oil in our own country. We just have to be freed up to explore it and use it. We really are inhibiting our ability to do this in most areas based on some economic concerns which most reasonable people would say are not actually a concern. There are economic and economic ways to do this without damaging the environment. I also agree with Steve that France has been very successful with nuclear power. It's very efficient, it's very safe, contrary to what people want you to believe. We need to expand our use of nuclear power in the United States. The other thing is I agree with using solar energy and wind energy. But right now, economically, I looked into this for my own house. It's not economically feasible for most people to use it. The technology is there. We need to change regulations. We need to find cheaper ways to harness the energy so that everybody can afford it. So basically we need to do all of those things. The federal government needs to step out of the way. We need to get control of some of the liberal environmentalists who are preventing us from exploring for our own fuel, and we need to do it. This area of the country could benefit from clean coal technology. I grew up in a coal mining area. Clean coal technology is there. We can use it. Again, government's inhibiting us from using it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Larry. Dan Scott, energy independence.
Well, you folks have a really tough time ahead of you. You got to vote for one of us in a primary, and we're all saying a lot of the same things. We're all conservative people. And a lot of you are probably scratching your head right now. How do you determine? It's easy to see the difference between a Democrat and a Republican. When you get 6 Republicans in a room, it's kind of hard to discern. I agree with the statements that have been made. But one of the things that people haven't touched upon yet is how important refineries are. Refineries are crucial. If we don't build refineries, we can drill all we want, but we have to have something to do with it once we get it out of the ground. Now, there's a lot of capped oil wells around here. And a lot of that's because these are low-producing wells. It's not cost-effective to get them to the refinery. It's too far away. Too few. Their volume's too high. They can't take it. So we end up just capping the wells. It's easier to get higher volume from across the seas. We need to build refineries and reduce the restrictions that the federal government has placed upon permit application to build refineries. Make it easier to do this. Put more refineries around our nation. Put some in Indiana. Let's put people to work. And let's stimulate the economy. And at the same time, let's get energy independence by building refineries to have something to do with all that oil that we're all talking about drilling and getting out of the ground. Because until we do that, until we build the refineries and go from beginning to end, we're not going to be energy independent. And we have to do it from the beginning to the end. I do agree with improving our nuclear resources in this nation, building nuclear plants. There have been a lot of advances made in nuclear energy, particularly in the cooling of the reaction chamber. There's some new components now that are molten metal, basically, that help cool it, that have no outgassing. It's good for our environment because it's clean. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Right. Final word on energy independence.
I could talk for hours on this one. You know, America runs on gasoline. It doesn't run off, our vehicles don't run off rubber bands, windmills, and tofu. We got all the energy in this country. God has blessed this nation so much. Our biggest problem is liberal Democrats. Name me one Republican, Democrat, anybody in Congress right now that's even talking about this. Again, this is next to radical Islam, illegal immigrants coming up to our through our borders. You know, energy independence is probably the biggest national security risk we have. Again, I can look out in the audience and I can see several people around my age that will remember what happened when the Arab nations shut our oil off in the 70s. Again, if they shut us off now and we get 60% now and 15% then, it is going to be a total nightmare. We need some grown-ups in Washington, D.C. with a little bit of guts. I mean, I'm no rocket scientist, but I can look back in history what happened and what will happen. You know, personally, I'm ashamed of the Republican Party. No one has the guts to stand up and go toe-to-toe with these liberals. You know, my group, Citizens for Truth, a few years ago, Barron Hill was at someplace near Lake Monroe when he was running for re-election after our group helped throw him out. He was at a gas pump pumping everybody's gas for free, and I filed actually a federal complaint complaining that he bought votes with buying people gas. So I just thought I'd have a little fun with Congressman Barron Hill. So I went there and I did my research and I said, "Hey, Barron," and he was from about here, that lady in the red dress or red shirt back there. I said, "Why don't you tell the people how you voted 8 times not to do anything about reducing our dependency on foreign oil?" And I guarantee you his face was as red as her shirt too. We need people that'll go and fight. Thank you.
Thank you,